I'm Ryan Haydari, another episode of the Sex, Lies, and Lawyers. I'm the host, and we have a friend here, Tanya. Tanya, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Okay,
I feel like we're on a first date right now with that music.
So tell us, introduce yourself.
Hi, so I'm Tawni. I host Fit and Frugal podcast. I'm also a notary here in the state of Nevada, and I'm also a real estate investor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in Vegas?
This is my third year. I'm here originally from Southern California, Orange County.
Okay, so what brought you to Nevada?
You know, I woke up one day and realized it was COVID and how much I hated living in that society that it was 3 months into COVID and I just couldn't take anymore.
Oh, because of the lockdown?
Because of the lockdown, I got a puppy a week before it was COVID. And I was going to school at that time. And me and my students that I was teaching teaching at Cal State Fullerton. And I woke up one day, like literally, like the minute I graduated, I needed to pack my shit and get the hell out of California. But I couldn't because I was paying the weather tax.
You grew up there?
I got to the United States when I was 10 years old from Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
But
And then you grew up in Southern California?
For the most part.
For the most part,
LA,
okay.
Orange County. And I realized, I'm like, you know what? I'm already paying taxes. I might as well enjoy the last summer here. Big mistake.
And what you were teaching at Cal State Fullerton?
Public speaking, hybrid communication studies. So like the basic 100 level communication.
Okay, and all of them were actually online, yes? Or the class is canceled?
Yeah, the first semester I got to do the apprentice program. It was in person.
Mm-hmm.
Couple weeks into the second semester, we were all online. So that was the first time I had Zoom University, and I had to teach students that I barely even knew on Zoom.
On Zoom.
Yeah, so it was terrible. It kind of removed the human element of what communication is all about. It's the face-to-face interaction,
That's a
energy.
new era. That's the difference.
Yeah.
And right now we go to the court all in Zoom and the blue jeans.
Really?
Yeah. Most of the people, they prefer not to go, even taking depositions by the Zoom.
Why? Because they don't want to wear pants to court, or?
That's another reason, and it's more efficient because you are going to ask questions the same way that you are asking, but the human factor is missing because you cannot just analyze. You can see them still in the Zoom, and his videographer is doing it, but the issue is that human factor, that heaviness of the deposition, that people take it serious, is not there anymore. It looks like that they are in the Zoom and they are not taken serious sometimes.
Yeah.
And you have to advise them is like being in the courtroom, testimony in the courtroom, because before they use the videographer come over and put the camera behind the lawyer asking question, the lights and the microphone, everything in front of the person. Right now, it's not like that. It's just by the Zoom. They sit in front of the Zoom and answer the question. And I was taking deposition one of the drivers, and the driver, the truck driver, got into an accident with our client. It still was on the Zoom cell phone giving deposition to me. I said, "Are you kidding me? Just pull over. You are going to run over people." And he already got into an accident. And being on the Zoom for that litigation, to giving testimony on the phone. I say, what the heck is that? Yeah. What you are doing?
How are you picking up like their body language? Isn't that the main component?
That's another issue usually, that you cannot just see what they are doing. And they don't take it serious sometimes. Like this, the driver was on the Zoom on the cell phone answering the question. And I say, I cannot do that. You are jeopardizing other people's life by semi-truck driving and the Zoom in your hand, answering the question. It's not legal. It's illegal. I say, you just pull over. I'm just not going to take your deposition unless you stop.
Yeah, it was funny. I took one communications, it's called Legal Arena, when I was in college. My first semester, I got to Cal State Fullerton. And honestly, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer because I'm like, this sounds so interesting, black and white law, all of these things, right? The minute they had us do like a fake trial, I was just standing up there, like reading the questions. We were presented with like 2 cases, defendant, all that stuff. And I was up there, I was reading the court case. I was like shaking. And I think I had heels on at the time. And I think I was like, and I forgot my position, right? Because you think as much as how much debate classes that you go through and how much communication theory that you know. But the minute someone looks at you in the eye and started grilling you about stuff, you kind of forget how to act.
Exactly.
And
that's
exactly
the purpose
the
of the
human element.
deposition, because that's forget, or if they memorize sometimes, they forget it and they relapse exactly to the fact and the truth that they already said, or they get stuck. Yeah. But in Zoom, that interaction is weaker, and the influence that you can make on the person is weaker because it's a Zoom. It's like a TV, 5 people, 6 people in the Zoom, and they are talking.
So what do you think makes a like a really good lawyer?
It depends. After the deposition, it depends on how they really ask questions, because deposition is an art, it's an interrogation. Yes, how you get the questions the way that you want it to them to answer you, and set the ground that they come to that answer and they cannot back off from it. The different facts. If they have facts, they agree to some other stuff that they are you want them to agree, and then they cannot disagree with the ultimate issue when you
But
are asking them. That's like an interrogation. When you ask someone, it's a civil interrogation. It's not the criminal interrogation.
yeah,
Interrogation, you go and police ask you questions. But in the civil cases, like a car accident on the business litigation, the lawyer sits in the front of the camera, okay, and put the camera and ask the question from the other party or the witnesses to see that what knowledge they have, their testimony, and consistencies, anything that can help the case or destroy the case. Based on those testimony, there's admissible evidence, we decide what the outcome of the case is going to be,
yeah,
and how the jury or the judge is going to decide about the facts based on those testimonies.
yeah. So
So
is it
asking
true?
question is so
Yeah.
important, how you ask questions. And Zoom era is changing that thing to some extent,
Yeah.
because there is no human interaction
Yeah.
in person.
So is it true that you can actually manipulate the way you ask those questions
It's
based
not the
on
manipulation, it's a systematic how you think. You have to reach from point A to point B to get the agreement of that person and get to the truth. So you set the facts and ask different facts, and all of a sudden he has to conclude. He cannot back off. He has to agree with the ultimate issue based on those facts that he already admitted to. So that's a skill. That's a thing that you have to know how to walk them through that path to tell the story that is really that story. Distorting, no, you cannot distort. The facts are facts. You ask it in different ways if you cannot get the answer. And finally, the opponent, the good lawyer in the deposition is someone gets the ultimate issue of the fact from the mouth of the defendant.
Yeah.
They say, yeah, I agree. It was my fault.
Yeah.
After all these things that you told me, yes, it's my fault. Then
Yeah.
admission of the fault is done. And then as to the other stuff. So it depends on the skills and how you ask the question. It's not the manipulating, it's just the way that you ask the questions.
Yeah.
It's different.
So how much of that is you observing someone's like physical behavior for you to actually pick up on cues that either one, they're lying, or two, that they're about to, not be truthful about something?
You can tell the people that one of the behavior that in deposition we see as a lawyer, when you look at them and you nod your head, still they go and talk and talk and talk. Yes, that's a technique. That when you're talking and say you nod your head, you're nodding your head like this, and they think that they have to say something. The more they say, the more they give you ammunition to expand on it and ask more questions. So that's a thing. And some people, they are good at the deposition. They don't answer. They answer to the point, or if they don't know the answer, they don't know, or they don't remember. But some people, they try to generate facts. That's bad. If someone don't, we always say don't feel uncomfortable when you don't know the facts. Don't agree to anything, because it doesn't mean that whatever the other lawyer is saying is going to be a fact. So if you don't know, you don't know.
Yeah.
And you cannot just agree with something you don't know. So
That's
don't
true.
agree. Some people, they agree, yes, yes, yes. They say, no, why you are saying yes? We already said no.
Because neutral is not a response.
Neutral, I don't know is a response.
I don't know.
I don't remember is a response, because you really don't know the facts.
So you
don't
can't
know.
affirm yes or no.
That's the answer is a I don't know, yes or no, or I don't remember.
Yeah.
Or you can expand and talk about it, say why you don't know. But it's better not to say that. You don't know if you don't know.
Yeah, interesting.
it.
You know what I really want to ask you is that when I learned, one of the facts was that we learned that physical attractiveness, like if someone's really physically attractive, they have a better chance, like much better chance at winning a deposition, either as a lawyer or just
It's
as
not a
defendant.
deposition. There
that
are some
true?
factors about the trial lawyers that the taller they are, the better looking or likable. Definitely, juries are the human beings. They have to like the lawyer. They have to like the witnesses. There is a factor of the likeness that it can affect the physical, the attitude, the vocabulary that you use, the cracking the jokes that you are talking to the jury and the other people or asking. There are those kind of things that attracts the people and they trust you. Is it about the creating a trust and who they like and they trust. And when the lawyer talks versus the other lawyer, they say, okay, I listen to this one. Always we have some bias. Jury has the same thing. They have a bias based on the physical, based on the way that I talk or the other lawyers they talk, based on the witnesses' appearances and the background, where they're from, what their job is, where they work, where they don't work. So they create a bias over the trial. That's the reason they say physical attractiveness is good. Yeah, of course, a good, attractive person being a witness is good because people are going to like her or like him. Yes, but it's not a determinative or conclusive factor in winning a case. If you have a bad witness that is not likable, most likely more than 50% you are going to lose because the jury doesn't want to reward him or give him anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, or even listen to him. Or your lawyer is obnoxious and it comes out obnoxious in front of the jury. So they're not going to listen what he says regardless of whether that is right or wrong.
Yeah.
They are blocking their ears and they're closing their eyes.
Have you ever had to defend anyone that actually tells you or that you know is already guilty, but you still have to defend them anyways?
No, I don't do criminal cases actually. So I'm not a criminal defense. I'm a civil lawyer. It means that we do civil trials and the civil litigation. It means that cases regarding the money, how you're about the business litigation, personal injury. The damages are monetary damages. It's not by the prison. It's not a criminal cases.
Not if I admit to you, be like, hey, I did embezzle all that money.
Yeah.
Is that not the same
No,
thing?
it's not. Embezzlement is a criminal law, and the
Oh, I
public
see.
prosecutor, actually, public DA, district attorney, brings lawsuits,
Yeah.
files a complaint on behalf of the people of Nevada or Clark County against the person.
Yeah.
That's different. It's criminal. But the civil lawsuit is about the civil matters. That is about the money disputes or the family cases. Those are non-jury trials.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
thank you very much. And tell us about you said that you have a podcast.
Yeah.
What kind of podcast is it?
Fit and Frugal, it's a lifestyle podcast that has evolved. I'm actually celebrating making it through my 21st episode today. Woohoo!
All right. Congrats.
Got through my milestone.
When did you start?
I started a few months ago officially. I shot my first one in March and I started traveling. So I didn't really shoot the rest of them until like probably April, May. And it's been a whole journey of how the voice I've been able to create through that is you think you want to create a podcast about something, but when you actually learn about yourself and start to develop a lot more self-awareness through your own voice, through conversations with other people, I realized I'm like, wow, this is not the intention I went into it, but I really like where it's actually going because I actually get to share my voice with other people through their stories, hear what, not just like how they got their success, but the stories of what makes them their person, right? Like all of the stuff that it's really hard for us as a society to talk about, you know, trauma, emotional baggage, and all of these things and how it affects our business relationships and all of the decisions that we make that make us successful on the outside and how that really reflects on the inside on the lifestyle design that we choose for ourselves. And if we're making those conscious choices or, you know, because for me, I come from a background of being sober for 200 and something days now. So before I started the podcast, I really wanted to make sure that my voice comes from an empowered, sober voice, and I'm not just doing it because I'm drinking, you know. So I think it's really evolved and really given a lot of other people kind of like, wow, like if that's your story, then it kind of helps humanize the fact that starting a podcast is really hard. Like I do appreciate, you know, your energy being here. It does really kind of drain you. And a lot of us are just
It's
not
fun at the same time.
Yeah,
To
but a
meet
lot of us are
different
not
people.
wired just to be on camera and be on all the time. And it kind of humanizes us in that way of actually succeeding and getting to connect with other people and really honing in on that energy of holding space to like really listen and really be empathetic with other people's stories and not just sit here and go through our questions, you know?
That's an interesting point of view regarding the podcast.
Yeah.
I
So
never
I've learned
thought
a lot.
about that part.
Yeah, right. It's fun. Exactly. I came into it. I'm like, hey, this is kind of fun. And I love talking to people. I have a background in hospitality, bartending specifically. So that's pretty much how those skills kind of transferred because I love talking to people. I love connecting and really listening to who they are as a person, what makes them, you know, them. And through that whole entire journey, I never really realized how much people carry with them. And that's why they go to the bar. They need an escape, they need a drink, they just need a friend. They just need someone to be there with them for a drink or two, just to listen about their day. Just to, hey, you know, I got a lot of lawyers actually during my shifts during the day. They go through a lot of their daily cases and they're stressed out. They come in, they just want to have a beer, they just want to sit and really not talk and just be in that space. That's why I'm always curious about lawyers and how you guys manage your energy to just be on in court. And now I learned that you're doing it on Zoom too. And have you seen a difference in yourself with you going to court versus you being on Zoom?
That's a difference. I cannot say that it's different because as to the jury trials, you cannot do it by Zoom. We had the one jury trial by Zoom. It was not successful. It was not good.
Yeah.
You know, because you cannot make an impression on the jury. You cannot communicate properly with the jury. They get bored.
Not even paying attention to you, probably.
But when it's a judge only hearing that the judge is listening, yeah, they pay attention. The judges, they listen. They got used to it because the regular people, they don't want to look at the lawyers on the Zoom and listen to them and just decide about the case. Mm-hmm. It's not fun. Even being a jury is not fun. Imagine if it's in the Zoom. You know what I mean?
So it's like a class.
It's like a class.
Yeah.
And they get bored yawning and they're looking at attention
They
to
just
somewhere else.
that person.
That person. Exactly. That's the thing.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming on the show. It's very, I'm very thankful that you came on. And anything else that you want to add?
No, thank you for having me on. I'm just really curious about the life of, Sam Ryan. That's it. Like, we've crossed paths many, many times in Vegas, and it's a really small world. I'm just grateful to be here and share this space with you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.